Chevy.
So a lot of times, a couple would say we are not having a lot of sex, and the husband would report, every time we have sex is because I initiated it. So I feel she does not want to have sex. Now, if you are the person asking all the time, that means that you are the person getting all the rejections.
So we're talking about women's needs and their emotions and what they want in bedroom, but men have needs as well. They have emotions. How we speak to men also affect them in the bedroom. Speak on that, because they have feelings as well, and we believe as women they need to initiate sex and they need to do this. Like, speak to that specific problem.
So there's this thing where we understand and we accept that women are emotional. Accepting that women are more emotional than men somehow, in a lot of people's minds, translate that men have no emotions.
As a robot.
They're robots. Men also want to feel appreciated. Men also want to feel that their partner is attracted to them. Men also want to feel that their partner wants to have sex with them. So a lot of times, a couple would say we are not having a lot of sex, and the husband would report, every time we have sex is because I initiated it. So I feel she does not want to have sex. Now, if you are the person asking all the time, that means that you are the person getting all the rejections.
Yes. Yeah.
After a while, that is not going to start to feel good at all. And you're playing in the river on the bank. I want him to ask, I want him not to ask, because, you know, it's already a very sensitive thing. You know, you're going and you're getting blank. You know, you have to wait until you're real hype up to go in and ask, right? And after a while, if it goes on for too long, he just might stop asking after all,
We feel
right?
defeated.
Right, so it's important that women also ask their husband, be the initiator.
Yeah.
You know, tell him how attractive he is, tell him how handsome he looks when he does a new hairstyle, when he dresses a different way, when he goes to the gym and he comes looking all buff. You know, you tell him something, because, listen, if you are not telling him, trust me, somebody else out there is telling him, eh?
True.
Somebody else out there is telling him. And if your husband is wearing a ring, then the women know he's married. They know they have to double up their efforts.
Right.
So they're pulling out their A game, and you home thinking, well, I have him now, so I had to put no effort in. He is facing temptations every day. And the thing about, we Christians, so I can talk about the devil. The thing about the devil is that he doesn't just throw temptations our way. He studies us, and he's craft out a particular temptation to your situation that you're facing. And that is what he'll come at you with.
Well,
So your wife is not giving you any attention at home. All of a sudden you realize that all the ladies are coming at you. That's because the devil is studying what is happening.
Right.
Even in the honeymoon night experience, somehow we believe that the man has to be the one to initiate everything. Even if there are two virgins coming together, the man is expected to know exactly what to do. I don't know how, but somehow the man is expected to know exactly what to do. And just like on the honeymoon night, where we encourage the brides to carry the synthetic lubricants, because out of fear, anxiety, or whatever, you might not lubricate yourself properly. That is because you're afraid and whatever. We think the man is going to function well because he ain't afraid of nothing. He ain't not suffering from no anxiety. But the reality is that sometimes he can be suffering from performance anxiety. And on that first night together, he might not get an erection. And you're thinking, you see, I go and buy cat in bag, the man can't even get it up. No, he is suffering from performance anxiety because he himself is anxious. I wonder if I'll get it right. I wonder if I'll hurt her. I wonder if I'll meet up to her standards. So in the same way, men have anxious thoughts too, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's not only about catering to your need, it's about catering to the man. And so that is why, back to the positions we were talking about, when your husband is putting in all the work, sweating it out, you just lie down there taking in the show. You know the husband would like to feel that, you know, whatever it is I'm doing to my wife is making her wild, it's turning her on, and she wants to take the reins sometimes, you know. I think it's really attractive to some men that this prim and proper lady in the streets can come home and was like, whoa, who are you? Where did you come from? The same person. And the way that you are behaving and acting and the noise that you're making, it is because of him. That is a huge turn on. It's because of what you are doing to him. And a lot of ladies, they think that, okay, once my husband gets sex, he should be happy. Missing the point that a lot of your husband's pleasure comes from how he sees you reacting to what he's doing to you.
Yes.
So if you lie there still and say, well, take it now. No. You're missing a big part of the point. He is absolutely enjoying that he's actually getting something right. And look how wild he is making you because of what he is doing. So yes, it's important that we I hear people say massage the ego and that kind of songs like that. We just buttering him up. I don't really like how that sounds, but it's important that we let the men in our lives know that we appreciate them, that no, there are days I could hardly wait to come home the same way you could hardly wait to come home, right? So it's not only about attending to the women's needs, men have needs too. And if you neglect them too often, you might realize that, wait, when was the last time he really came to me? And then ask yourself, when was the last time I went to him? You probably never did. And that might be, if you go to him, he'll say yes. Or if he say no, it's because he's trying to help you understand how he feels when you say no to him. And then we start to play a lot of games, and then that's a you know, that could take us down the next road. So yes, men are humans too. Surprise, surprise. And we do need to cater to them as well.
So we were talking about body image earlier on in the female perspective, but on the male perspective, because I'll get licks if I ask this question, right? But there's a lot of body shaming when it comes to the male private parts. And then there are scenarios that people always bring up. Virgin, and go on the wedding night. And the tool they was looking for, expecting, is not what they get in terms of size.
We was looking for.
But that's the thing, right? I don't know what the people looking for, but let's go back with the scenario where, you know, it's a person who had interaction sexually before, right? And now they have to face what they dealt with before, and what they choose to marry, and this is the circumstance, right? In terms of, okay, Harry had so much, but then you married John, and John not
measure enough.
Not measure enough. Right? There's all these questions around that scenario, because I hear people say, well, he could stay right there, or there's a new talk now where I had a sample before marriage.
Well, yes. So after you've sampled, so you're going to leave the man because he doesn't measure up. You're going with your tape, your inch tape, your ruler, or something.
People doing that.
But to answer your question, that's a question that has been asked a whole lot, and people say yes, size does matter. But a lot of times the jumbo sizes that ladies are looking for, that is what they see on porn.
Right.
The research has shown that those sizes are not in the majority. They are not in the majority. So if you do the research, they would say that a normal size is about 6 to 7 inches. Right? But somehow ladies looking for 8 plus. Right? Then we have to also take into consideration that it is more than just size, it's about technique.
All right.
Right? And people normally say you're saying that because you know how much, right? So you must say that to not make yourself. But that is a fact, because if you have a big car and you don't have enough garage space to park it in, is a waste of a big car.
Well said.
Right?
Yeah.
So realistically, according to how a woman's body is made up, the 9 and the 10 and the 12 inches might just be more uncomfortable than pleasurable. Right? Generally speaking.
Yeah.
If you have a small penis, there are different positions that you can use. Right? That's the same as if you have a big penis. You can't say, okay, well, I married this man, his penis is too big, grounds for divorce, or right?
True.
You have to make accommodations based on what you're working with. If your penis is smaller, then you use different positions. Again, we're trying new techniques. Till death do you part. So we have enough time to play around here, right? To figure it out.
Or to visit you and you will give them homework.
Yes, we'll give you homework. So you know that based on a particular position, you feel more depth. You can achieve more depth. If you go in a certain position, you might slip out because that is not. So you play around with things and you know what your go-to is. In the same way, if your husband's penis is really big, then you know what positions to go in that you don't get as much depth and cause yourself pain.
Yeah.
So it is about technique and knowing what to do. There are the odd ones, like the micro penis. There is such a thing.
Yeah.
But that is not what people typically talk about, right?
Yeah.
They think about if a man is about 6 inches, 7 inches, that is not. But it's about, like somebody asked me what it is about the big penis that women typically go after. And I told them I think it's just the aesthetics. It's not about function there, you know. It's not about function. It's about the aesthetics. So practically speaking, it's about what you can do with what you have.
That's good.
So size then does not matter.
Yes.
Got you. So I had to ask this question because somebody out there gonna be watching this. Watch your hand. Realize this was in marriage.
I took it to clean.
Oh, you said? Yeah. And they want to know what you know about all this, and you ain't married, but you're coming with practicality tips and things. Who's she trying to fool? What you would say to that person?
So I have a couple of answers because when I started advertising myself, that was the number one question that I would get, and especially as a single Christian. Remember, so I'm not supposed to have any practical, right? So of course I was prepared. I knew what I was in for when I started studying it, but I went into it anyway. So a couple responses that I would normally give people, when you go to the doctor and the doctor gives you a prescription for your diabetes or your heart failure or your blood clot, and you accept the prescription.
Right.
Is it that you believe that the doctor also at some point had diabetes or high blood pressure or something? No, but you accept that what he's saying as gospel. In the same way, because he went to school and he studied, so he can speak with authority.
Right.
So in the same way, I studied, so I'm speaking with authority. That is what I tell people. Again, I also say there are lots of naysayers who, of course, they have that same question.
Yeah.
Listen to me. If I sound like I'm not making any sense, then you can say this girl, I know what you're talking about. She had no experience.
Right.
But a lot of times, what I have found is that people find that I make sense. And so you can actually learn something. And even if you are seasoned, you could find a little tip, a little trick, even if it's not for you, it's for your wife. If it's not for your wife, it's for your husband.
Yeah.
So you actually go away. And sometimes I find it so interesting because some of the things that I think are just basic, and people actually come and tell me, you know, my sex life is so much improved because I was listening to you and what you were saying. I was like, okay, that is fabulous. So when I hear people coming back and telling me about the impact, the positive impact that what I am doing has had on them, I don't particularly worry about the people who don't want to listen to me because I know there are a couple of persons who they have no intention of buying my book because what can I tell them? Because, of course, we all know that married people are warned not to take advice from single people.
Yes.
Which is a line I actually included in my book. Right?
Yes.
But the book is about the married man, and of course I'm not married. A lot of the information I got from doing interviews with married people. I hit the malls and I talked to everybody that I could. I talked to married people. People were complaining to me before I started writing that book. So I actually had a lot of information to include in the book when I started. Yeah. So if you don't think that I have anything to offer, give me a little chance. And it just might be worth your time.
Give me a little chance.
Give me a little chance.
Give me a little chance. So here now, a little personal question here.
Yes.
Since that, your potential huzzy might be out there. How you deal with having his expectation of you being sex therapist and you're gonna be the best thing after sliced bread because you're a sex therapist? How you deal with that unwanted pressure?
Nobody has ever asked me that question. But it's a question. It's a question that I have been going over in my own mind. I must be honest. That is one of my little insecurities that have been nagging me, because I'm aware that some people are intimidated by me.
Yes.
Yeah, they wonder if when they come, if they would be able to match me and, whatever, right? But I have this thing, as independent as I am, I believe in making a man feel like a man. I believe that even though I might have more information than he does, I'm not going into my sexual relationship as a teacher. Because as sensitive as it is, the man needs to feel like a man. I'm not going to take over and tell him what to do and hit him on his head and all kinds of things like that. And if he's not as flexible as I want him to be, no.
Yeah.
So I have been thinking about that, and I am prepared to be an equal partner. It's about learning each other, because even people with a lot of experience, when they go into a new relationship, you have to learn your new partner,
Yes. Yeah.
So all the special moves that you had before that used to work with this particular person might not work on this next person. So we both have to learn each other and give props where props is deserved. And so I have been thinking about it. And there are lots of people who are intimidated by the fact. But I would say, but I don't want to say this out loud because I might get a rush in my DM. I might get a rush. But at the risk of getting a rush,
right. It might be good.
Don't be intimidated. Don't be intimidated. I'm not going to be a teacher. I never wanted to be a teacher in my entire life. I do strongly believe in letting a man be a man. For example, I went on a date with a young man. He was a student. He said he didn't have any money. But this is nothing sexual. He said he didn't have any money, and so we kept on putting off this date because he didn't have any money. And I said, boy, it's time for us to go out. And I gave him money. I said, we are going out on this date. I am working. I gave him money. Before we left the car, I gave him money. So he put the money in his pocket. So when we got to the stalls, he took the money out of his pocket and he paid. I really believe in making a man feel like a man and not trying to wear the pants.
Wow, so all again money too. So we will take this opportunity to close it off and let you share your socials where they can find you for that purpose and also for business.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I am on Facebook. My same name, I did not put a pseudonym, so I am Rebecca Beckles. I am on Facebook, and I actually have a Facebook page, The Happy Bedroom. So there's also information on Facebook on The Happy Bedroom. My number that you can reach The Happy Bedroom at 718-6447. I hope I give the correct number.
Yes.
718-6447. If you try that number and you didn't get it, you can call our hosts and hostess and they would give you another number.
Yes.
The book is available on Amazon.com, so you can get your hard copy or you can also get it in Kindle version.
Nice.
Right? So there's that version as well. If you could hardly wait to see what's in there, you just download it in 5 minutes, you get it. The book, when I initially made it, I had one cover. And then when I put it on Amazon, there's another cover. So if you would like to buy a book from me locally, you can contact me and we can arrange for delivery and you can get the copy. But know that the book that you're seeing on Amazon is not the one that I will be delivering to. The content is the same. Content is the same, but the cover is different.
Yes, and I heard our host mention earlier that you are writing a new book.
Yes.
Right? So tell us a little bit about that.
So once I started to sell the first one, my colleagues started to challenge me to write a female version. But I found that writing that and coming up with content for that was a little more difficult, because whereas before I was used to men coming up to me and complaining about their wives, so I got a lot of content right away for the man's version.
We're not complaining about the
No,
husband.
the ladies not complaining, yeah? So for this one, I actually have to do a lot more research. So it's taking a little more time. And whereas the Married Man's Dilemma was based on the 80-20 rule, for the married woman, I did not want it to be just a flip side of it, so you know exactly what to expect. So now I have to come up with different things, and I am realizing that it's more than one dilemma. So there's a dilemma where people expect you to get a degree, get a husband, get children, and if that doesn't happen, they pressure you. There is the part where I talk about your body. Actually, there is a chapter in the book called Miss Vagina. And so we talk about accepting your body and about understanding it and loving it so that you'll be able to present it to your partner. There's the dilemma there about getting married and then coming across somebody who you wonder, oh my goodness, did I just get married too soon? So there are a number of things coming out there, not just one dilemma. And then, because I wanted it to look sort of like the Married Man's Dilemma, I wanted to have a similar title, but I have not come up with one.
Right. Yes. So again, as Keston said earlier on, if you suggest a name in the comments and she picks it, you, that lucky individual, will get a free copy.
Right, so one thing that I wanted to say again, just like I talk, I write. So for me, I want to reach the normal person. So you study and you do all your psychology and you get all the concepts and everything. That is for me. And once I understand it and internalize it, then when I come to you, I just break it down and I keep it real. So somebody told me I'm reading the book, and if I did not know who wrote the book, I would know who wrote the book, because just as I talk, I write. That's just me.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. We are not professional hosts, but we're trying our best to hold this conversation for everybody to learn, to gain information, to pull value from the conversation. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for participating, commenting, sharing the link. Continue supporting. And those who are looking to sponsor, please contact us. We will be looking for sponsors to make this even bigger and better for you guys. All right. So thank you very much. Life Couch.